This is Edwin Lee Raymer, and yes, I'm still a private investigator. Welcome aboard.
This is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show with your host, Ed Raymer, on your Good Neighbor station, News Radio, WGNS.
All right, and we are back. Thank you. And Miss Smith, Beth, let me ask you, have you ever run for office before?
Absolutely not.
What made you want to do this?
Well, I guess it was one of those I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore moments.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, watching teachers being disrespected has been very difficult.
Sure. Go ahead.
Suggesting that people even needed to have guns in a school is unbelievable. I ran my own business for over 20 years, but after that, I went back into a classroom, and since then, they've stolen my whole heart. They're just the best people. They work so hard. They deserve so much respect.
Right.
And funding and protection.
Right.
And support.
We're going through that right now here in Rutherford County. Now, I know if you're running for state senate, you take in how many counties does this area take in?
Well, it's Cannon County, Bedford County, Moore County, and the east side of Rutherford County, also Laverne.
Also Laverne. Okay. And again, you've never put your name on a ballot. I told you before, I admire people that do, because I never have, and I probably never will. But I admire you for doing so. What have you learned?
So much. I felt
Right.
like I was in college for the past 6 months.
Sure.
The first thing I learned is there are Democrats in Tennessee.
That's a bunch of them.
They're very quietly not voting.
I know. Setting it home on their hands.
And hopefully this year, because there are actual people on the ballot to vote for, hopefully the Democrats in this area will get out and vote hard.
Vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This has been a problem. You know, Brian Barrett and I got to where I go up there and we sit and as Alan Farley brings the results out. You know, our administrator of elections, Alan, has done a great job. We make it so easy to vote here in Rutherford County. But at the end of every evening, when they're tallied, turnout 10%, 9%, 11%. I mean, it is. We just look at each other and that's one thing me and Brian, we would do agree. We look and say, what are we going to, everybody's sitting at home. And there is no reason to not vote. This county has made it so easy. I mean, you can just about drive. I'm looking for them to do a drive up and press a button before it's all over. I mean, it's so easy to do.
It is now. It is now.
It is.
And the other three counties, they have, Moore County has only about half a dozen places to vote, but they don't even have those listed on their website, on the Moore County voters registration website. Cannon County has over 10 places that you can vote.
Right.
Shelbyville even more. But the beauty of Rutherford County is you can vote anywhere. You don't have to go to your
right.
Old back in the day when you had to go to a specific site to
Sure.
vote. I just think that was the most brilliant thing.
Well,
that they've done.
and we had personal experience with this. My wife, she worked as an accountant for Ingram Book Company for 34, 35 years. And, excuse me, of course, we live out South Church, Joe B. Jackson area, what used to be County Farm Road. Everything has changed since it's grown. But if she was at work at lunchtime, she could run out down there at Laverne, go to that voting booth and that precinct there and vote, cast her vote. It was so handy because we normally would vote out at the Realtors Association out there. That's used to be our required precinct. Now, I think on election day you still can only vote there, I believe. I think. I may be wrong about that. And if I am, someone call in and tell me. But the rest of the time, I mean, she went out many times, had lunch and could go out and vote. Not a big deal. you know, and we have that advantage. Brian and I, we look at each other. That's the number. That is the one number I think he and I both dread to look at. You know, okay, what's the turnout going to be? You know,
Maybe this year could be better.
man, we would give anything to see 18-20%.
Wouldn't that be
It
something?
would be amazing, and I'm going to tell you, there would be some changes made too. And you know, I'm telling you the truth.
Oh, indeed.
You know
It
that.
would be lovely to see some changes made. You know, we're just in a situation really. It's a log jam, and unless we flip some seats.
That's exactly right.
And get some new people in there and start having more conversation and less angst. And I think that some great progress could be made.
And more seriousness. That this is a serious thing. I mean, we all have a lot of fun, and you like the barbecues, and you like the fish fries, and the spaghetti dinners, and that's all wonderful for the fellowship. But we've got a serious problem that has to be dealt with here, and in this state, and that's what you're talking. You're on a state level, you know.
Absolutely.
And we have lawmakers that aren't even listening to their own constituents.
Well,
I mean,
there is-
for gun control is the big one. They want, you know. I don't think you ought to be able to sell an automatic. I don't think you ought to be able to sell weapon period to someone that just got out of a mental institution.
Certainly not.
And I don't think you can, but I mean, it's about that ridiculous, you know.
Well, any responsible gun owner
Sure.
would obviously welcome instruction.
Yes.
They wouldn't have a problem with registration.
Right.
They wouldn't have a problem with safety as far as storage.
Right.
But unfortunately, in Tennessee, we know that we have a lot of irresponsible gun owners. And we know that because guns are the leading cause of death of our children. We know that because there are so many guns stolen out of cars.
Okay.
These
Yeah.
are not responsible gun owners.
No. I carried a nice weapon for a while, and our son got it for me for I think for Christmas or birthday or something, and because I was serving papers, I was process server, and I carried that thing for about 2 weeks. And it's a little Glock. It's fine. It's lightweight. But I had to know where it was every second, which you're supposed to, you know. I had to be, I couldn't take it, I wouldn't take it into the courthouse. I wouldn't take it into an attorney's office. I'd leave it in the car. You have to lock it in the glove box, lock the car. You have to do all this. And after a couple of weeks, and frankly, I was getting older, and I got tired of that extra weight weighting me down, okay? Now, I know people laugh at that, but it's a fact. I mean, I'm saying, you know, son, I want you to know I appreciate this, and I'm going to keep it. I'll put it up where we put all our weapons where we store them. But I'm not going to carry anymore, you know. And I don't serve people. I don't serve that many. I'll serve one very, very rarely anymore. But because it's gotten just a little bit dangerous out there in the last 8 or 9 years. You can make of that what you will about people accepting process on legal documents or not. But it got to the point that people have become very arrogant about it. So take that for what it's worth. And
Seems to be there are very few consequences for bad behavior in lots of arenas. And you know, people in Tennessee were raised better than this.
Sure
is
they
all
were.
I can say. And we do have good sense. And we need to show it this year and get out and vote for people that support the ideas that you support. And if you love public schools,
Oh,
you
Lord.
need to vote for Democrats because they will support public schools. If you feel like common sense gun laws are just common sense, well,
Right.
absolutely vote for every Democrat on the ballot
Yeah.
because we're all on the same page as far as that goes.
Common sense. Right.
Gun laws.
Yeah. Common sense could return to politics. That would be a refreshing thing.
Well, you have a lot of people on the ballot right now running that are just full of common sense and have lots of good intentions. And I would love to see all of us win,
Sure.
of course.
Of course.
But I'm so impressed with the people. We've we've had a lot of quality time to get to know each other,
Right.
all the candidates that are running out of Rutherford County, and what an amazing group of young people.
Right.
I think you've had probably most of them on your show.
Most of them I have, and I'm impressed with them, especially, and please don't take offense to this, but especially these younger candidates that
Yeah.
are coming here, and man, some of them come in here. Well, all of them come in here like a ball of fire.
Absolutely.
Luis Mata, Jonathan Yancey,
Victoria.
Amelia Victoria was on last week. Amelia Pont. All these people. I'm leaving someone out, I'm sure, but I don't mean to. But this is refreshing.
Matt Ferry.
Matt Ferry.
Let's mention Matt.
Matt has been around for a while. Matt has paid his dues.
He has paid his dues, and he helps everyone.
He'll help anyone.
He
will help anyone.
He absolutely deserves your vote. I
He
cannot
does.
imagine why anyone would vote for anyone but Matt Ferry.
I know.
Personally.
Yeah. And Kathy Watts, we've got to mention Kathy. She is, everybody's doing their part. Morgan Woodbury is, she's the head of the party, I believe, right
She's
now.
the chair today.
Everybody is trying to pitch in and say, hey, folks, this is the year. And my wife and I feel this way. This is the year. By the way, do you still have the right to vote as a woman?
Today.
Yeah, I just want to
Now,
check
I've
and
heard
see on
that
that. I didn't know.
there's somebody running
He's
for
in
president.
he's running for governor in South Carolina. He's the guy that got in the pulpit. They put him in a pulpit and said some people should be murdered. Some people should just be killed.
Well, that's.
I don't know who's
going to
pull the string on. I don't know who's going to pull the string on that. I hope not me. I don't want to. It's
wouldn't go well.
ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
He wanted to take away a woman's right to vote. Go back to like it was in the 1800s. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? No running water, no electricity, no streets, no.
Yeah. I
give
was
me a break,
actually
man.
raised by those women. The woman that raised me was born in 1896.
Isn't that amazing?
So it's amazing. Well, there were a couple of women. Actually, it took a whole herd of women to raise me. But Aunt Sissy, Miss Tennell, Eileen Tennell.
No, you're making it sound like you were a problem child. It took a whole bunch of women to raise you.
I just had a lot of energy. I think that's a more appropriate description. And so there was Aunt Sissy and Aunt Catico. And Aunt Catico is Catherine Brugger McKnight, and she was the first and only graduate the first year Central High School was in
You tell me that,
existence. Yes.
The old Central High right over here on Main Street.
So education is very important to people in my family, especially public education, and especially the knowledge that vouchers are simply not the answer.
No.
We have challenges in public schools, and if there are any teachers out there listening, thank you. I know that you tolerate a lot. I know you feel unloved and underfunded, and I would so love to do something about that.
Well, and like we've always said, you go past just about any school, and there's a bunch of cars there early in the morning, 6:30, 7 o'clock. Those are teachers that are in those rooms getting ready for their respective classes. And they pull a lot of money out of their pockets to take care of those kids.
Oh, my,
especially in the 1st through 6th or 7th grade. Just with paper towels, pencils, extra paper, whatever it might be. I'll tell you what, Miss Stephanie, we're going to go to our first series of breaks, if we could. And Beth, thank you for being here. She is running for your vote in District 14, State Senate, great state of Tennessee. She would appreciate your support, your vote. And I'm Ed Raymer, the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. Miss Stephanie's on the board, and we'll be back with you right after this. Stay with us.
I do.
Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219, or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
Diabetes is out of control, along with obesity, mental health disorders, and rising rates of many cancers. Marty Macri, a surgeon at Johns Hopkins and author of a book called Blind Spots, argues that it is the impaired vision of traditional medicine that has enabled and promotes this public health crisis.
We have a chronic disease epidemic that modern medicine has only addressed by playing whack-a-mole on the back end with medications. Now, there's important roles for medications, but we have a reflex that's been triggered by every condition, including, in some cases, the medicalization of ordinary life. So we've got to zoom out and say, yes, we do a good job stamping out disease in our many specialties in medicine, but at some point we have to look at the entire person.
Macri says such a strategy requires starting from a position of health maintenance early in life, with exercise, healthy diet, and immunizations. At Johns Hopkins, I'm Elizabeth Tracy.
Chemotherapy deserts are expanding across the U.S. I'm Jackie Fortier, and this is your KFF Health News Minute. For people in rural communities, getting cancer treatment close to home is getting much harder. Nearly 400 rural hospitals halted services from 2014 to 2022. That can leave patients traveling hours for care and force them to pay out of pocket for expenses like gas and lodging. Rural patients are less likely to survive for 5 years after a cancer diagnosis than their urban counterparts. Since the fall of Roe, protecting abortion rights has been popular with voters, so anti-abortion policymakers are turning to an old defense. TRAP laws, which stand for targeted restrictions on abortion providers, go after clinics rather than the people seeking care. In Montana, new rules would require the state to investigate any complaint against a clinic that offers abortion services. The proposals are similar to laws passed in 24 other states. There's more at kffhealthnews.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard, right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Like this close.
All right.
Okay.
Beth is getting some instruction here. Have you ever done live radio before?
Of course not.
You haven't. Is this your first time?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm impressed. You're doing great.
Well, thank you.
You got a good voice for radio. It's deep for a lady. Sounds
heard
good.
that.
Yeah, okay. All right. We have a caller on the line. All right, caller, this is Ed. Go ahead.
It's Raymer. How you doing?
Hello, is this Jeff?
Yeah, he's Jeff. How you doing?
Fine. How are you doing?
I just want to say I was at the forum they had in August for the primary, and I just want to say that night I think just about every Democrat candidate was there. There was only one Republican. The lady who was running against Stevens that night was there, and that's the only one that was there. All the incumbents that night none of the incumbents were even there. They didn't even show up. None of them.
Right.
So, like I told you before, that's what's sad is when you ain't got to show up to a forum and you still could win. But the candidate told me that's running against somebody. He said they were talking. They said, "Are you going to do any kind of forums?" And his response to me was, he said, if WGNS radio wants me to do it, I'll do it. That's what his response was to me. He said, if they want me to do one, I'll do one.
Who is this now?
Well, I'd rather not say. I mean, I guess I could say, but I'd rather not.
All right. Okay, I understand. No problem.
Yeah. That's what he told me. He said, if the radio station wants me to do it, I'll do it. He didn't want to. I mean, he don't even. I mean, so I mean that's pretty sad when you got to get somebody to get off your stuff to do something. But I'm hoping that the Democrats can get people out to vote too. I'm kind of skeptical anyway because Tennessee is the lowest voter turnout in the country of states. I mean, it's usually about 60 some odd percent. I know with the presidential year, it's going to be a little more. It might be 65. I don't know, but it's usually really, really low on the presidential side of things. It's usually still low compared to other states.
Right.
Turnout, and it's just really sad that like the lady said a couple weeks ago, in Australia they require you to, and they penalize you, or they fine you or whatever if you don't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't never go that far. But I've voted it since I was 18. Every election I could possibly vote in, I have no problem with that. I might have missed one or two, but I don't think I have. But every time I get a right to say something about government, I do it, and I do that through my vote. And a lot of people don't see it that way. And just like Kathy and I, you may have been listening earlier, we got a lot of good Democrats that sit at home on their hands.
They don't. They just don't want to vote. Like you say, they don't think their vote counts or whatever. Even like you said before, the primaries or local races, there could be 20 or 30 votes decide an election, or even less than that. So
it's happening. Yeah, it's happening all across the country. Where in local elections, you have elections that are decided by less than 50 votes.
I mean, and like they say, all politics are local. I mean, school board and all that stuff. I mean, what's going on with the school board right now with the books. I mean, all this stuff's local.
Oh yeah,
Everybody knows it. It's local. I mean, sure, it's fine to vote national, all that too, but they're not really going to affect your pocketbook. Because I had a lady tell me this last week. She said that the fact you don't pay, that I really don't pay. I mean, I'll tell you this. I pay a certain number of taxes. And I don't pay actually federal tax. She said she don't like people that don't pay federal taxes getting money or whatever that say that have a say so in the government when she paid, like I forget what she told way up her taxes. Well, I told her, I said, well, it's kind of like this. That they say about opinions. Everybody's got a blankety blank one. Everybody's got one. So I mean, just the fact because I don't pay enough taxes don't mean I don't have an opinion on what goes on.
Right.
I can say
sure.
What I feel, and of course, like I say, that's just the way that it is. But I mean, and like I told you before, I think the Republican Party's scared nationally with Harris running. I think they're scared to death because they knew that if Biden stayed in, Trump was probably going to win a big way. But they know now that it's going to be real close, and like you say, Harris might win. I don't know, but we just have to wait and see. But I hope that the way it's running is, I hope the campaign goes well, because we need a few Democrats up there to balance out the right or the.
So I think I'm safe in saying Beth got your vote.
Well, she's not in my district.
She's not in your district. Oh, are you kidding?
That's okay.
Really?
Okay. I don't think she's not in my district. I think I'm in 16 or 17. I can't remember which one, but I don't think she's in my.
Okay. All right.
But I just want to say that because I know we just said that the school shootings. And one thing I want to say is when all these school shootings and stuff happen, they're talking about gun control, and the right wing will say we can't do anything about that because people are just killed. We've got to let the families grieve and all this stuff, and they'll wait a few weeks and say you want to talk about it now, and they still don't want to.
No. They give it time to let it die down, and
die down. They'll say, and then they'll say, well, Democrats are politicizing by talking. That's what they say. We're politicizing by talking about the issue.
Yeah, I guess we are. Yeah.
Yeah, and all this, and also about thoughts and prayers. I know somebody the other day. I said people are tired of thoughts and prayers. They're sick of that. They don't want to hear about no thoughts and prayers no more. I don't want to hear people praying. I mean,
yeah, they need to hear. They need to see. They need to actually see some action. That's what they need to see.
Just thinking about it, do something. But like I said, I hope that her campaign goes well. And like I said, we need some Democrats up there in Nashville to balance them out. So y'all have a good week. Thank you.
Jeff, thank you. Jeff Neal, good supporter of this broadcast, has been from the start, and we appreciate him very much. Beth, Jeff is right. Just somebody to do something. if we're good.
Well, if we vote, then we'll get some people in office
Sure.
that will do something.
Get up off the couch and go vote.
Absolutely.
That's
That's
all
the
we're
important
asking.
thing. Yeah.
Now, you wanted to talk about Morgan and Morgan Woodbury, and I think Kathy was.
Well, all
Okay,
the
what
women,
dirt do you have on them that you could share with
I
us?
have no dirt. Don't get me in trouble.
No,
now,
Kathy,
Ed.
I'm sure I'll be getting a call from Kathy later this week, if not later tonight. No, they're doing great work. Kathy was at the convention. I'm sure we all caught pictures of her on the big screen, and we're trying to have her. I'm trying to get her on, but when she got back, she had laryngitis. She's had COVID.
Yep.
And she's been a little puny and under the weather, so we're trying to get her back healthy again.
She's looking a lot better. I think she's better this week. So
Okay, all right.
The
Well, she
time
said
is right.
we had some texts going back and forth. I said, if you need anything, let me know. She said, I'm doing fine. Said I got great neighbors, and hopefully we can get her here because at that convention, all we see at home is at night after 6, 7 o'clock when they go on the air, you say, well, they're out there just having a big party. Well, those people have been working all day. There are meetings they go to and all that stuff. I know they go to breakfast and luncheons and all that stuff, but there is some actual work that's involved. From both parties.
I really haven't caught up on what she did while she was there, but I think it is such an accomplishment that she was chosen to be a delegate.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I had no idea until this year when I chose to run for office, all the things that go into the process of becoming a delegate. It's very intense, and
it is.
I'm just I'm really proud of her, and I'm really proud of the work that she has done, and also that Miss Morgan is doing.
I haven't spoken with Morgan in a while, but she's cranking it out.
She is they've all been working so hard. I think part of the challenge is they haven't had quite this many candidates in a while.
No, they haven't. No, and it's a lot of you to manage.
It is.
And I hate to put it that way, but you have to be managed to some degree.
It's like herding cats.
I know.
And the reality is none of us, almost none of us, have run for office before.
A lot of you haven't. Yeah, you really haven't. And I admire you for doing so. But now we had a few, like Kelly Northcutt, Matt. You mentioned Matt a while ago, Matt Ferry. They have run before, so they know some of the ropes now. They know a bunch of the ropes, really. And
they both were very generous with their time in helping
even though they were running.
Absolutely.
Right. Even though they were running. And Kelly was only nudged out by 208 votes.
I just really disappointed by that.
I know. But the good news is she only spent like $3,000, and the guy that finished under her, who was supposed to be such a strong bow, walked in here and supposedly had nearly $50,000 bucks behind him.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, and finished last.
I guess if just a few more people had voted.
If I'm telling you. Okay. What do you want to tell us about Kathy and Morgan? What do you got?
Well, just that. Just how much I see. What I see is I'm not a politician, but I know a little bit about business.
Sure.
And what I've seen from day one is a struggling business, the Democratic Party.
Right. Yes.
It's been apparently 14 years since they've had someone running for every office on the ballot.
It's
here
been
in
a long
Rutherford.
time. I can tell you that. Yeah.
So it's great that we're doing that. I've learned so much. We don't have time, but I was so impressed when Gloria Johnson came to town. I've seen her both in Smyrna and in Cannon County.
I've had her on only once or twice. I'd like to catch her when she's here on a Sunday. I'd love to have her here live, but she's up in East Tennessee, and I do understand. But Gloria is a very qualified candidate. She's been out state capitol a while, and I would love to see her take over that seat in Washington.
Yes.
I'm not lying to you.
Absolutely. I think it's time for Marcia to go back to Mississippi and let a real Tennessean take over.
Yeah, Marcia. Yeah, and
please vote. And then of course Matt is wonderful. We didn't mention Amelia.
Amelia Pont.
Yeah. So she is a very energetic young candidate, very passionate.
Right.
And she and downtown Sherry Brown and I just started a new project this week at the Boys and Girls Club.
You told me about that. Yes, some gardening you're going to be doing?
We are in the process of finishing up, with much help from my husband Dennis, 3 raised beds that are considerably large,
Right.
4 foot by 12 foot. We can grow quite a bit of produce in that. The children are excited. The 3 of us, the 3 candidates that have signed on for this project, we're very excited. And this is something that we're going to follow and continue to work on long after the election.
Regardless what happens in the election.
Absolutely.
You know, once you start growing your own vegetables, you and I had a phone conversation yesterday. It will get in your blood. You know. Now, over the last year or two, I'll tell you, the wife and I, we have slacked off. And this summer, I got to tell you, our son planted some stuff up because he owns Complete Yard Care, but he's got a green thumb. He was into that in high school, and these kids love this. Once they see these plants start to grow and nurture, and say, hey, man, I can actually eat some of what we're growing here, and and then they get to take it home to their family, and.
Well, they may eat it all at the Boys and Girls Club, but
they probably will, yeah.
But I've done school gardens for over 10 years in Metro Nashville, and the amazing thing to me is how much they love to eat what they grow.
They love it,
and how they talk about how different it tastes.
It's so much better.
Right, it's so much better, and the nutrition is better, and there are no chemicals involved. So.
That was none on ours. We never used a single chemical, not a pesticide. And I told you last night, we were making a lasagna. I was making a lasagna this time at my house, and I went out to cut some fresh parsley. And I took the shears and I said, cut off a bunch. And I caught that aroma. I said, wow. And
it's the best.
Yeah, I said, you don't get this at none of your supermarkets, because it's probably at least 2 weeks old by the time we get it. Did you used to Tiffany? Did you ever raise any?
It's funny you say that. I have chickens at home now. I garden this year. I garden all the time, but my naughty hens decided to take some dust baths, so I didn't. My okra, I didn't make it. My tomatoes, they're naughty. They're naughty, okay? And I was like, what is this? So I decided to do a raised garden bed. But like you said, I do that. And we have a little boy. He'll be 12 this month. But still, I do that because I'm the only one in my family that does that. I'm the only one that still garden like my grandfather did.
Is that right? Your grandparents did.
Yeah, so my grandparents did. And then when my mother, now she downsized. My parents downsized. They're not doing that anymore. But my aunts, I'm the only one that have chickens, and the only one that, that has the parsley and the okra and the greens in the wintertime. In the wintertime,
we were talking about that just last night. Yeah, you're getting ready here in the fall. One of the best salads, some of the best salads we ever had, man. Let me tell you. The wife raised some lettuce and I think some spinach or whatever out back, and did it in the bags on the raised, just bags of peat or
my
potting
chickens
soil
would be
or
all
whatever.
in that bag.
Yeah, you keep your chickens away from that.
Yeah, they wouldn't last long with chickens.
No, I'm telling you, it's the greatest. It's the best food you'll ever eat in your life.
No, it's amazing.
It's hard to believe that a salad could captivate you, but
good, right?
Yeah, green onions. Oh,
yeah,
man.
It's so good. My mom, she was a nurse, and she took care of someone that was in the Great Depression, and she talked about how they survived and how when she would walk to school, she would pick up dandelions, and she would say, that was supper. She said they would make salads. And
I have heard that you can eat dandelions.
Yes, but you
Every
can't
part of
find it. But listen, so I told my son, hey, let's go make some salad. We could not find them.
They're at my house.
Okay, I gotta come over. I'm coming over.
I'm the
I'll
only
tell
person.
you something. Go ahead.
I was going to say I'm the only person in town with a plant and soil science degree
Oh.
that absolutely lets
bless
the
you.
weeds take
Yes,
over.
let the weeds take
Let the
over.
weeds take over the yard. Ask the mower to raise the blades so things
Sure.
still. Yep. But that's
Our
how
son does that on most yards. He'll raise the blade. He keeps the blades raised. Don't
That's
skin
good.
it.
Yes.
Don't skin it.
Yes.
And I always loved in the spring when the guys would cut. You'll smell that You can smell that grass, and you can smell those
There's
onions.
nothing like, yes.
Do you know those onions? You can eat those.
No, they
Yes.
always say they're edible, and it's so funny because my son he'll go and get some. I say, "Oh no, get that out the house!"
No, you
know?
can eat them.
No,
That's
they're edible.
crazy.
No, I've eaten them
So
before.
many
No.
things. So
And
many
they smell
things.
so
I mean, and they're good. I mean,
good.
yeah, it's.
Yeah.
They won't hurt you though.
You know, like mushrooms, but I have been petrified about it. But my son,
Right.
he knows what honeysuckle is, and we'll go for a nature walk. And
Yeah.
I said, "What are you eating, child?"
He's eating honeysuckle.
He's eating
Pinch
honeysuckle.
it off and suck
Yes.
the
Suck
sweet
that
out.
Yes.
sweet out of it.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I
That's
did
what
not know
we
that.
used to eat
yes.
for snacks, isn't it?
Isn't that crazy?
Now I never ate any honeysuckle. No,
Well,
I never.
didn't
You
eat
know.
'em, but you
He was
break
able
off
to-
the
You,
yeah.
bottom.
but you suck the
Yep.
okay
Yep.
the sugar out of it or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this
There's a lot of
always
stuff
happens
goes out
with me.
there, yeah.
Once we start talking about plants, everything else just goes out the window.
Well, now
I
let me
love
tell you,
that.
we've got thank goodness my brothers and I. Our parents left us one thing that we will never be able to repay. Would never be able to have. We would have never been able to repay them for, and it's a hilly and up and down hills and valleys, 85-acre farm in Kentucky.
Oh,
Wow.
And I know
I'm
there's
looking
some.
for a farm.
Know there's products growing up there that we could possibly harvest and roll up and.
I think I'm quite sure that you're speaking of
about to fall out.
ginseng and not
Sure,
cannabis.
of course.
correct?
We're having a little tea
But as long
party.
as you brought it up, I was telling the folks in Cannon County today that Shane Reeves should vote for me because he's in the drug business.
Right.
And medical marijuana could make him so much money. And then
It could.
maybe,
Yes.
and I know he's made a lot of money on,
Regular
Oxy.
pharmaceutical, yeah, the
Well,
OxyContin and
A lot
all
of
that.
Oxy and
Sure.
all that, but wouldn't it be a win-win if he could make just as much money? Medical marijuana, nobody dies. I say it's a win-win.
They don't look at it that. I mean, it's. I don't know.
I
don't understand it.
I don't know how they look at it, but we could use the tax base. We could
Certainly.
use we could certainly use a product like hemp that you can make fiber and fuel and food and medicine from. And
I'll say. Let me tell you, and I don't know if Tiffany knows this. Our Constitution is written on hemp paper. No. Yes. You didn't know that?
it's
Yes,
true.
it's
Actually,
true.
it was
Forgive
at
my
It
one
is written
time,
on hemp paper.
it
Beth,
was
tell her about
illegal
it.
not to grow hemp in
It
this
was
country.
illegal?
It was illegal because it was a plant that was, well, you could pay your taxes with hemp. But truly, you could make so many things, and currently there is at a federal level there's a farm bill. In the farm bill, they're trying to make growing hemp for Delta 8 illegal, and I just see it as a very important plant, especially to farmers and their independence.
Livelihood, yeah.
And that's one thing farmers love is independence.
It
And
could
they
be the new cash crop instead of tobacco.
could be a cash crop. It will cleans the toxins out of the soil. So many products.
Sure.
Medicine.
I came out of Kentucky, North Carolina, and even East Tennessee gets in on the act. Were tobacco producing states.
Yeah.
I mean, it was big business. And then, of course, President Bush stopped that by stopping the subsidies for the tobacco base. And my parents had one. It was a small tobacco base, but they had one on that 85 acres I'm telling you about. And they always subleased it for $1 to our neighbor or whatever, and they grew their tobacco on it, And so we're no strangers to that. But the cash crop was pot up there for, well, it may still be,
still is.
but it legally could be. It could be the new cash crop for North Carolina, East Tennessee, even here in Middle Tennessee.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I have a fellow I know of, I was telling you earlier, he is a hemp farmer, and he is regulated by the state.
Mm-hmm.
They measure his plants periodically. Is it THC?
Mm-hmm.
Correct me because I don't know anything about that. I can tell you all about beer and bourbon, but I can't tell you much about pot. But I'm not ashamed to say it. Yeah, I mean it's a fact. I mean it could.
It's very well regulated. Unfortunately, we haven't done anything for the infrastructure that is necessary to process So
Right.
we need processing operations
True.
and such as that, and it can all be done. I met someone last week who told me that, nope, it was biofuel. It couldn't be done. And I said, I'm sorry. I know it can be done because I've seen it done. Dr. Cliff Ricketts at MTSU, shout out to you.
I've heard the name.
He was an awesome professor, and he had quite the still at the vocational agriculture building there at MTSU until it was shut down. He was making gasohol back in the day when it wasn't even a thing. And then he switched from that to hydrogen and actually took his old little Mustang all the way to California on $5 of gas.
Whoa.
So,
$5.
$5.
Before inflation.
Well, even then. Even then. But my point being, it's doable. It's can be done. And
Right.
we need to invest
Yes,
in
ma'am.
those processes and make it happen,
Sure.
because it would be good for
Sure.
everyone.
Because with hemp products, with hemp you make so many other products. There are creams, there are gels, there are like you said, gummies. You
Gummies
got the gummies
for
and
pain.
all that for pain.
A lot of people out there
Yeah.
with arthritis.
I had a good friend who was talking about this years ago. That's how long we've been talking about this. And he said, I'm generally in pretty good health, but if they make this medical marijuana legal, you're going to see one of the sickest guys the next 6 months.
You won't have to be sick.
We're going to go.
You won't have to
We're
be
gonna
sick.
go-
Just old.
We're going to have to go to our last series of breaks. Beth is with us. She's running for State Senate in District 14 against Shane Reeves. I'm Ed Raymer. We'll be back with you right after this. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219, or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Keep it real with human-generated content. This is Soundbites, and I'm Alan Davidson. Now that AI is threatening to swamp the World Wide Web with dubious content, it's even more important to know whether what you're looking at was created by a robot or a real person. If you want to keep it real, head for humangeneratedcontents.com. It's the web's first specialized directory of content that's guaranteed untouched by AI. Here you'll find creative humans that have been nominated by actual humans, listed on the basis of their original human-crafted work. Writers and artists in every field, designers and makers, crafters and planners, from the distant past to today, all categorized by their specialties and linked to their work. Keep it human with humangeneratedcontents.com. With Soundbites, I'm Alan Davidson for CBS News.
I'm Larry Magid with the Connect Safely report. A lot of parents wonder what their kids are doing with their video game consoles. But the major consoles have parental controls, as Sony Interactive Vice President Catherine Jensen explains about the PlayStation 5.
The parent has control over spend limit. They can set up who they can communicate with friends or with no one at all. And they can also set up different times. So if it's only after school or for a certain amount of time per day, all of that's very easy for the parents to make sure that the experience is right for their household.
Although they may differ in specifics, Nintendo, Xbox, and other game consoles also have parental controls. You'll find links to parental control information and the full interview at connectsafely.org/radio. With the Connect Safely report, I'm Larry Magid for CBS News.
Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com. All right, and we are back. And Beth, we're going to finish up. We've got just about 7, 8 minutes here. Tell people how to get a hold of you and what you're doing. Tell them where you are.
Well, I'm on Bell Street, the corner of Bell and Cortland, 326 East Bell. My phone number is 615-414-5047. My email address is B as in boy, B Smith, 4957 at gmail.com.
Okay.
And give me a shout, send me a text, really, and or an email. And if you have any questions, concerns, I truly care.
Yeah.
And I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, what are your suggestions for what needs to be done? You know.
Oh, well, no vouchers.
And I'm talking about the constituents. What, you're open to hearing what they have to say too.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
I
What
mean,
do you
that's
want?
what it's all. Well,
sure.
I've been in customer service all my life, so
Right.
if you
Right.
hire me, it's a 4-year contract. There will be no renewal.
Right.
And I will listen to you because in my mind, that's what a representative should do, is listen to their constituents and
voters
argue their case.
Yeah, the voters are your employers.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's the way I've always looked at it.
That's the way it is supposed to be looked at.
Mm-hmm.
But we've gotten away from that concept.
Well, they have.
Over the last few years. Yeah.
I can't speak for them, but I certainly have not.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Which is why I'm running
right.
for office, because I'm very disappointed in
Right.
their behavior and their lack of respect to
Right.
the people that actually hired them and put them there.
Well, I mean, when people, their own constituents, are saying, "Look, we got to do something about these gun laws," and they they blatantly do not do it.
They clearly have other priorities, and they clearly are not us.
Well, I mean, that's what gets me about their values. You have no values. You've got priorities. You're exactly right. They have just a priority. They have no values, some of those people. And when you have no values, you're already on the rail headed out of town, in fact, as far as I'm concerned, because they just have priorities. And number one is money. It's cash,
And possibly survival. I mean, I'm sorry,
Sure.
but
That's exactly right.
now, if you're a Republican and you vote against the party line, well, we've seen just a few weeks ago, Governor Lee.
Oh no.
He was called a rhino, and it was over making diapers available. There was one man that voted against the vouchers, and he was a Republican, and his life was threatened by his own party. And all I can say is that's not how we do business in Tennessee. We deserve better, and we really have to earn that privilege of deserving better currently.
Sure.
And the easiest, it's so easy. All we have to do is vote. That's all.
Get off your hands and go vote Democrats. Yeah, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
And the other thing, like you were talking about, the Cheneys. Dick Cheney and, of course, Liz Cheney are voting for Kamala Harris. They have come out openly. They're going to vote for Kamala Harris.
John McCain's son.
John McCain's son is vehemently, I mean, and there's no doubt that his widow, Chris, whatever her name, I can't think right now, and her daughter Megan. I mean, she, bless her heart, they'll be voting for Kamala as well. You know, that should tell people something. It should tell me. I mean, you know,
Hopefully
our daughter,
it will.
Kamala was talking the other night on TV. I say Kamala like I know her. I've never met the lady, but and you know, our daughter sent my wife a text, and Joni got a kick. The wife got a kick out of it. Said, "Oh Lord, it's Lauren." Said she wrote her, said, "Oh, I just love her."
Yeah.
Talking about Kamala, and these young girls do.
Yeah,
they really do.
Well, why would they not?
They love her
They
to
see it,
death.
they can be it, and that's what
Yes,
we need.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw
and
Jimmy.
I love Coach. Okay, I love Coach.
Sure.
Well, he's a man that has a fine appreciation for gutters, and so do I.
Right.
He sees the importance of gutters on a house, and I can appreciate that.
My man.
Among other things.
He's the guy. Yeah, Tiffany's behind him. I mean, come on. I mean, he's just a regular guy.
He's real. He's
the
the real deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's all of our dads to some point. That's him, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, mind your own dang business, you know.
I know. Keep it simple.
Yeah. And and he believes that. I mean, I really
so do
believe
I.
it. Yeah. But I'm telling you, they've got their hands full. And here's what the funny part about the opposing party, they don't know what to do with her. They don't know how to handle her.
Well,
And
they've got a lot of issues.
And Doug Emhoff, the vice president's husband, was on Jimmy Kimmel. And I got a big kick out of it because they were sitting there. And Jimmy asked you, if you hadn't seen it, go on YouTube and look it up. You get a kick out of it. Said, now, how did you take the fact that when you found out your wife had turned black? How did you feel about that?
What do you say?
He didn't.
I missed
He's
it.
Just, you know,
I missed it.
Yeah, you go back and look at it. It's funny.
I'll
My
have
wife
to.
went back and watched it. How did you feel when, you know, he was so dead serious when you found out your wife had turned, now she's black. How did you feel about that?
It's just poor Trump. I feel so
I mean,
sorry
they will
for him.
try. They're trying anything, and nothing is sticking, man. Everybody, you know, the shtick has worn off.
Well,
A lot of
hopefully,
us. I hope.
hopefully.
It's hard.
Do what? It's
We have our next
Well,
host
no,
in here, and as
no.
everybody knows, I don't mind letting the ladies say their piece. So go ahead. No, quit touching me, please.
it's a
We're
lie.
on television, please.
It's not true.
Quit.
It's not happening.
No, it's not. Yeah, keep your hands up there where everybody can see. I'm just,
And this, but we don't care because we're just laughing.
yeah. But it is, you know, it's been an interesting time. And
I've
I think
enjoyed myself thoroughly.
You know, since the president got out, and he did the right thing.
Absolutely.
Bless his heart. But I've never seen such energy in this party. I know. These young ladies here have probably never seen this before. This is new, because this is the way it used to be.
Yeah.
You and I can remember.
Yeah.
This is the way it used to be.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, let's go back to 1965. Like, even though I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, though, the raw energy that comes just from whoever thought a vice presidential candidate could get a crowd riled up. I mean, Tim Walz can do it. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well,
People
we're
are
ready.
just about as happy
The
to see him as they
people
are Kamala.
ready.
Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing better than when you have the president of the United States campaigning for you. I mean, that's a pretty big stick he's carrying there still.
I love Joe. I appreciate Joe. I always said, whatever he decides, he will put country over self.
Well,
and he did it once again. Didn't surprise me at all.
No, it's, but here's the thing. He and Mrs. Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi, they never brought a vote up that they could not win. They knew what the numbers were. Well, Nancy Pelosi probably better than Joe, because Joe's in the Senate. There's a little more of an enigma that goes on there.
Right.
But Nancy Pelosi knew her numbers. And you know, they're still. I've got a guy. Sometimes he calls in. And, now you remember Nancy Pelosi? No, yeah, okay. We're going to talk about poor Nancy again. Are you ever going to quit? Quit banging this drum? And for years we went back. It was Bill Clinton.
Right.
Bill Clinton did this. Bill Clinton did that. Then we got President Obama. Well, President Obama did. It's not important. It's not important how a man behaves in public. And well, it certainly was when President Obama was in.
Yeah.
Because y'all followed him every step of the way. You were right on his tracks.
Right.
And I can only imagine if his wife had posed naked in front of a TV camera or
it wouldn't
movie
have been
camera.
well. It wouldn't have gone well. But Michelle wouldn't have done that.
No.
She just.
I'll tell you what, we're going to get out of here. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Tiffany, if you want to do this, if it's all right with your next host, I'm going to hand this show off to her right now. I'm sorry, your name. What's
Sonia. I'm Sonia.
Yes, she's Sonia. Here.
You know who I am.
Sonia. How are you doing?
Sonia.
I am blessed by the best. I'm glad that you guys brought up something that I'm actually going to talk about on the next session with the guns and the gun control.
Right.
I'm ashamed to say that I used to be a Republican, but I've never been a Trumper due to my business or whatever. But now it's time to make some common sense choices. What is best for the country going forward, what's best for our children.
Yes.
And what kind of gotten me is they even had the Republicans talking thing had a solution there at the border, and it was told, no, don't fix that because I want to run on that. That tells you all you need to know about Donald Trump.
Well, that reminds me back when we were talking about the health care before the ACA. I'll say this, I'll get out of your way because I don't want to impede on your time. No, it's all right. But the Republicans had a great health plan. And I remember it was just don't get sick.
Yeah. There's that.
Just don't get sick.
Did you hear Vance's deal about child care?
No, what is it now?
About the grandparents should be.
The child care, he said that, well, we're going to make it where the grandparents and the aunties and the sisters can help take care of the child.
They're doing that already.
We've all got jobs.
They're doing that already.
I
mean,
we're doing the best we can. I had a grandbaby born this week, and I've had all these children, honey.
You got a grandbaby.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, son. Grandbaby got you a new car.
Like this.
Daddy's done got you a car.
I'm almost 60, baby. I just look like this.
Don't. Okay, we got to get out of here. She's going. Come on, Beth. Let's get out of here.
All right.
You're listening to the talk